Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Scorpio enemies, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing I'm going to be talking about is Scorpio. As far as open adversaries go, the sign on the 7th house cusp in a solar or natal chart for Scorpio is Taurus. So Taurus can be an open adversary, could be a Taurus person, the sun, somebody with the Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Taurus, or it could simply be somebody that embodies Taurus-like characteristics. It could be people that are just rather obstinate and willful, ones that are very, I guess you could say, very strongly connected with peace and tranquility. The ones that generally are that could be very persistent and have good powers of perseverance and endurance even. This is also could be people that are in a Taurus-like profession, such as stockbrokers, finance, banking, people that handle money. It could be could be financial advisors. It could be people that are even pawnbrokers, because Taurus is the sign connected with value, and could be people that are very good at assessing the value of things. I mean, Taurus and Scorpio, unless they're in a relationship, they could really be, really it could have a very strong, I guess you could say very, very negative compatibility is one way to put it. And these two could be perpetual foes. Scorpio, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the difference is strongly in the way of handling things. Taurus is really, they like to be they could be rather direct, not so much in contrast to Aries, of course, but Scorpio could be rather surreptitious and really sneaky about how they go about doing things. And the thing about it is, I think this could irritate Taurus. Taurus is generally very patient, but even they'll only be pushed so far. And I think when you look at the two, also considering that Scorpio is ruled by Mars, they're much more action-oriented than Taurus. And Scorpio could be very crisis-oriented, and Taurus likes things to be very peaceful and doesn't want to rock the boat. So you have that kind of disparity going as well. And the fact that these are both two very willful signs, so you could see where they could be enemies. Now, the other thing is, you have in a solar natal chart, you'll often have Libra fall on the 12th house cusp as far as Scorpio goes, and the sign Scorpio goes in a solar natal chart. Now, and the 12th house cusp represents our hidden adversary. So this could be people that have a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply people that embody Libra-like characteristics, people that are relationship-oriented, people that are very peaceful, that are diplomatic, tactful, equitable, fair-minded, very sociable. And the theory I have, with this is that, as far as, people will wonder about, how does the sign on the 12th house cusp, how can that equate to being a hidden enemy? Well, the sign on the 12th house cusp often shows, I think, that side of ourselves that we're not always cognizant of, or that we suppress, that we don't, that's hidden from us. So it would make sense that perhaps the people that are associated with that sign, whether it's a Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in that sign on the 12th house, or somebody that embodies those characteristics of that sign, those are people that could be hidden from us as well. And the thing too is, I think Libra can be a hidden adversary to Scorpio. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Libra is a sign that's very relationship oriented. They're very fair and equitable. Scorpio is one that's not always fair, and they like to often play by their rules. And I think it can cause animosity from Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant people, or even those that really have those embody those characteristics. So that's one thing. And I think another thing too is that Libra is about being sociable. Scorpio can be the exact opposite. They could be very secretive and very hidden, and really almost some of them can be downright reclusive. And Libra doesn't quite. Libra people often don't understand this, and some people just don't like what they don't understand. So that's another thing. Now another, and keep in mind, people, that adversaries of a sign are not necessarily going to be restricted to the sign on the 7th house cusp and the sign on the 12th house cusp. This could also be, other sign. There's two other signs. I should say 2 signs that square Scorpio by sign, Leo and Aquarius. And Leo, the thing about Leo is in Scorpio, the reason they often don't get along and they lock horns, they're very incompatible, because they're both strongly about power and control. Scorpio may wind up manipulating a gullible Leo, of course, in making Leo incensed, and then Leo may generously spill those Scorpio secrets. And these are 2 sides, of course, they're fixed signs, of course, and the difference is, they're both, of course, about power, and Leo is just very domineering in general and very authoritative. The way they control things is very out in the open and very blatant manner. Now Scorpio can kind of control through their subtle means, through manipulation. And sometimes if this is an intimate relationship situation, it can be through sex as well. So this is something, these 2 signs can often clash because of this. Now, the other sign, Aquarius, is squared by sign as well. And the thing about it is, we go back to the power control thing of Scorpio. Aquarius can be very rebuffed by this, because if Scorpio tries to control freedom-loving Aquarius, in many instances, Aquarius will be rebuffed by this. And also, Aquarius is they're not just progressive. Aquarius can be very forward-moving. They're future-oriented. They tend not to dwell in the past too much. And Scorpio can really, they could dwell on some past hurts. They're very much like Cancer, but Scorpio brings things up more out of just being vengeful, I think, and to kind of get at others by reminding them of some negative things that maybe that person did to them in the past. Cancer just kind of clings to things because they're just so emotionally sensitive. I think there's a little difference there. And Aquarius too can be more really emotionally detached for Scorpio. Scorpio often likes the deep connections. Aquarius might be seen as a little bit superficial, and Aquarius is really more connected with the universal friendship love as opposed to a stronger, deeper connection. So anyway, well, as an enemy, Scorpio could be rather formidable and really very vindictive and vengeful, the most of any of the others of the zodiac signs in general. They could be a perpetual enemy or nemesis, and they're very hard to outmaneuver. They're very sneaky, very surreptitious. Scorpio can be, really like that ultimate cat burglar, or somebody that can do things and really have the heart. I think Scorpio, of all the signs of the zodiac, has the hardest time being captured, because they're so snaky in how they do things, and it's very, if you have Scorpio as an enemy, they could do something to you, and it could be something done, like whether it's hacking into your computer or doing something to make your car bounce up and down and leaving hard, and they could do things in a way where often they won't leave either leave very little or no evidence behind or trace, and they know how to do things when no one's around. So now, if an enemy, and of course I'm being facetious about this, people, now if an enemy, outmaneuver them, make a subtle dig or reference about them, be sarcastic to them, maybe those things, and that could be maybe what you would do to a Scorpio enemy, but of course I'm just being facetious about that. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for Scorpio enemies, and stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about Sagittarius enemies. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel, and secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.